Hey, nerdy sports fan here. We're talking Week 10 NFL action, and we've got my beloved Buffalo Bills going up against the Cleveland Browne stains on the mattress. Um, the Browns, lots of preseason hype, very undeserved, obviously. They had a lot of talent that they amassed, and a coach that really just was not ready for his job. Okay, they did not get the right guy to helm the ship. That's all it is. Baker Mayfield has a sophomore slump. He might recover. We might just see what he is. I always felt that the worry with Baker was that we saw the best of him his rookie season. That we saw as good as he could be already. There wasn't really room for growth. You didn't have the raw talent that you have with Lamar Jackson or Josh Allen. When you get somebody who's got a lot of polish already and a lot of accuracy already, and he's still not necessarily getting you to the playoffs and doing things, it sends up a red flag. Because generally speaking, leadership and accuracy is where quarterbacks lack when they're coming into the league. And if you've already got those things shored up, where are you going to grow? Obviously not in height. Yeah, sorry. Short jokes, whatever. Baker's got a crappy mustache. And anytime you're talking more about his mustache and his game, obviously his game ain't that great. He's got a lot of talent around him, though. A lot of talent. You got Chubb, who's fantastic. Behind this offensive line, they're averaging, 5+ yards per carry. That sends up red flags for the Bills, because the Bills, the last few weeks, have been inconsistent at best, stopping the run. Okay, they got run all over by the Eagles. And then the next week against Washington, Adrian Peterson gouges them for 100 yards in the first half, 101. Then only 8 in the second half. So obviously they figured something out in that game, made adjustments, and were able to stop the run. Part of those adjustments has been taking first-round draft pick Ed Oliver out of the defensive line rotation. He got less than 20 snaps last week. That's going to continue. All right? They just picked up Corey Liggett, whatever. Another defensive tackle. One whose game really is stopping the run. So obviously the Bills know that it's an issue, and they're addressing it, and they adjusted well last week. Let's see. Because they're going up against one of the best rushing teams in the league. Baker can't get out of his own way in the passing game. That's why the offense isn't consistent. Now, mind you, the offensive line can't pass protect worth a damn. They can run block, but they cannot pass protect. So if they're in a situation where they got to come from behind or they're obvious passing downs, the Bills have the advantage. They have a great defensive line rotation, and they can generate pressure very easily. They got Jerry Hughes on one side, Matt Murphy on the other. Mark Murphy? 2 M's. Yeah, that guy. Who used to play for Washington. All right, this guy was an 11-sack guy for Washington just a couple seasons ago. The Bills picked him up in free agency. He didn't do crap last year because of injury, but in that defensive pass rush rotation, the guy's actually fantastic. He definitely got some hits on Haskins last week. Coming over to Cleveland now against an offensive line that really just cannot stop pass rushers at all. I expect Trent Murphy, that's what his name is, not Mark Murphy, Trent Murphy, and Jerry Hughes to do extremely, extremely well in this game. Start the Bills defense. on your fantasy team. Okay? I know they're going up against Odell Beckham Jr. They're going up against Nick Chubb. They're going up against Jarvis Landry. Really, really talented guys. They're also going up against Baker Mayfield, who has been puking all over himself all season. So a very stout defense against a struggling quarterback with a good supporting cast. That's what we're talking about. I think they're going to be able to do enough to not really have to worry about Odell and Jarvis and Chubb. They're going to take Baker Mayfield out. This is a philosophy that you heard a lot during the Bounty Gate scandal with Greg Williams when he was down in New Orleans. Kill the head, the body will die. You go after the quarterback and you take him out of the game, it doesn't really matter what the rest of the players are doing. Okay? Kill the head, the body will die. It doesn't mean take these players out and give them concussions. It doesn't mean that. It means find a way to neutralize the quarterback. You neutralize the quarterback any way you can, it ruins the entire offense. And it's very easy to do against an offensive line that cannot pass protect. The Bills' defensive front is too good for this Browns offensive line. And I think that they fixed enough in the run defense with last week and picking up better personnel for it that Nick Chubb is not going to be able to gouge them in the way that the Eagles did 2 weeks ago with Jordan Howard. So yeah, start the Bills D. They're going to have a great game. Devin Singletary has the juiciest matchup he's ever had. Last week, going up against Washington, who's bad against the run. He went off. 20-plus point fantasy production. This week, he's going up against a team that's even worse against the run. So yeah, Devin Singletary finally has his time to shine. Expect another 20-plus point performance. People aren't going to be talking about Nick Chubb at the end of this game. They're going to be talking about Devin Singletary. That guy's going to be all over the field. They use him as a receiver and a rusher very frequently. I expect 20-plus touches for the man, and he will dominate the game. John Browne is the most consistent receiver the Bills have. He is the safety blanket for Josh Allen. They don't use the tight ends as much as they should, or at least they rotate too many of them in to really have any consistency out of tight end. And Cole Beasley is, a semi-decent flex or wide receiver 3 desperation play. But John Browne is wide receiver 2, solid, almost every week. Him and Devin Singletary need to be in your lineup for this game because the Bills' offense will go off against a really bad Browns defense. The Browns' defense is good for pass rush. They're not good for stopping the run. Between Denzel Ward, Myles Garrett, the talent that they have, and the defensive secondary and the defensive line is built off of being ahead. They are built to stop teams coming back on them. They're not built to establish a lead. They were depending on the offense to do that. And the offense hasn't held their end of the bargain because of Baker Mayfield's inconsistencies. So the way they're built is going against them because the key figure in building a team that way, the quarterback, is not coming correct in these games. So Cleveland is actually favored in this game. They're 2.5-point favorites. That doesn't matter. Okay? The Browns are 2-6. The Bills are 6-2. They've played essentially the same level of competition. The best games, the best teams that the Browns have played against were the Ravens and the Patriots. The best teams that the Bills have played against were the Patriots and the Eagles. They're different teams now than they were at the beginning of the season, though. So their mutual games against the Patriots don't really factor in so much with how we think they are now. I just think the Bills have a stronger locker room. They have stronger leadership, whereas they don't have as much top-end talent. We see what that's got in the Browns. It doesn't matter as much. If you don't have everybody pulling in the same direction, it's going to be a problem. And right now, you got your receivers worried more about their shoe deals and their watches than playing football. And a more experienced head coach with a lot more clout would have been able to nip that problem in the bud earlier and, maybe get Baker to shave the crappy mustache earlier. I don't know. I just think there's too much turmoil in Cleveland, and they do not deserve the status that they've carried from the offseason. I don't understand why they're favored in this game against a team that's 6-2. I just think it's media hype. So they're going to lose. They're going to lose badly. Bet the Bills all day. Devin Singletary is going to have himself a game. Nobody for the Browns. Maybe Nick Chubb, if the Bills haven't necessarily shored up their defense against the run, which I personally think they have. So Nick Chubb, he's a running back too, just because of volume. They are going to have Kareem Hunt coming in this game, but I don't expect him to be much of a factor in his first game back. Odell's a wide receiver 2 at best. Landry's a wide receiver 3 at best. John Brown's a wide receiver 2. Devin Singletary is a must-start running back 1. He's, I want to say, the second or third best running back play all week. Hit up the rest of my videos for how I feel on those games, fantasy football and betting-wise, and check out the Nerdy Sports Fan Weekly for updated power rankings.